The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. Reaper Apparel offers a casual line of superb fit, finish, and comfort. We design for those who refuse to die slowly and choose to live untamed. For those who aren't afraid to face the dark, for the ones that thrive in it, and for those who can appreciate life through a grim lens. That's Reaper Apparel Company. Go to the link in the description of this episode, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my own personal merch store, the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. I have hats, I have t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, water bottles, notebooks, you name it, I've got it. The description and the link for that will be in the description of this episode. Also, right now, if you use the promo code WELCOME, I will give you 5% off of your first purchase. That's the Stupid Should Hurt merch store. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by Tactical Brotherhood, all American-made apparel, which helps support the Second Amendment. You can also find all this in the description of this episode with the link, Tactical Brotherhood. Part of every proceed does go to helping veterans, as it is a very good cause. All American-made products made right here in Minnesota. Go and check them out. Use the promo code PATRIOT15 to get 15% off your purchase. Now, let's start the show. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. This is, as always, your host, Mike Bono. I have a great and special episode for us today. This is our NBA preview show. I have a great panel of guests coming on today. We're going to talk all things NBA and get you ready for the NBA season. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. They're going to tell you where they live at now. And I got a quick question for them, and that is, who is the better all-time great, Kobe or Magic Johnson? So we're going to start with the GOAT himself, Mike.
Mike Worrell, good to be on, Bono. From Ohio originally, but currently I'm sitting in Jacksonville, Illinois, 30 miles west of Springfield. And, I was a Celtics guy, late 70s, 80s, but I'll contend Magic's the greatest winner of all time, so I got to go with Magic.
Okay. And you can hear this next guest on his own podcast, Tapped In with Tony Bogan.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Like Mike Bono said, I am on Tapped In with Tony, my own podcast. I am originally from Shaker Heights, and I currently stay in Ravenna. I do not remember Magic Johnson playing, as I was not old enough to see him play. So, by default, I'm going to go with Kobe Bryant, the Bean, the Black Mamba. Even though he was on a Lakers team that was so dominant, it just pissed me off. Still, you gotta respect his hustle, his grind, and his competitiveness.
Yeah, don't think you can go wrong with either of these picks there. So, solid pick. Forgot you're young, and I had a feeling that was going to be the pick on that one. But coming to us again from Purdue, who's been struggling in football, but we won't go there on that one, Drew Barth.
Always got to throw something at me, Bono, don't you?
Wouldn't be me if I wouldn't, brother.
I appreciate having me on again. Like Bono said, Drew Barth, live in Lafayette, neighboring city of West Lafayette, where Purdue's located. Originally from a small town, Minonka, Illinois. And like Tony, I was too young. I didn't get to see Magic play. I'm a big Kobe Bryant fan, and when he stopped playing, I really stopped watching the NBA a little bit. I still watch every now and then, but I was a big Lakers fan up until he stopped playing. So let's go with Kobe over Magic.
Okay. All right. And our resident, I believe he was a Bengals fan, and not looking too good for the start of the season, but we're not going into the NBA here, but Bill Stoy.
Man, you got it wrong, Bono. Big Browns guy. Cleveland, Ohio.
Right. Even worse, Browns guy.
Depending what week you ask is depending how it's going up here. But coming off a good win, excited to chat about some basketball today. And like I said, from Cleveland, Ohio, to chime in on Kobe versus Magic. As well, a little bit too young to have watched Magic, but can't go away from the Mamba. I just think the competitiveness of Kobe is unmatched, and obviously RIP to him, but we're going to go with him on that one.
All right. Mike, looks like we're going to be the only ones. I'll answer this question too, and it's Magic Johnson for me. The Mike's going with Magic, and the young guns, of course, going with Kobe Bryant. But we can get into that. That's a whole another show where a whole another debate where we can get into. I don't think we have enough time to get into that today. We got some questions to answer here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep it and start with Mike here. Which team improved the most with the draft and free agency this year?
I knew there were going to be some questions like this, Bono. I'm an old school guy, and you almost have to be a Phi Beta Kappa to know all the changes and additions, subtractions, all these NBA teams have done in the offseason. I'm watching some preseason games. I have the Wizards and Knicks on right now, and I'm not going to even say who made the biggest jumps or anything. What I do with the NBA is, because I get the NBA League Pass, I'll watch the first 3 or 4 weeks, try to watch as many games as I can, and it's like a 6-7 month season. So after the first month, that's when I dive in and see who's made the best moves in the off season.
It's not a bad plan. It's a long season. It's a grueling season. And there's so many people moving around trying to find these super teams now. So, yeah, I get it.
But a big-time trade to me is Lillard, joining up with the Greek Freak in Milwaukee. And I think Bradley Beal to Phoenix is a big move for the Suns, who are already pretty good.
Absolutely. Drew, let's go to you. Same question.
Yeah, Mike just hit on it right there with two of the bigger ones. Bradley Beal's an all-world talent, and then Damian Lillard getting a fresh start, won it out of Portland. Didn't get to go where he wanted necessarily, but he's out of Portland at least. So I think I'm going to have to go with the Bucks. And, we have Giannis. I think he's out to win another MVP, I think, and prove himself. And he hasn't won it, a couple of years now? So
yeah,
let's get back that and get another title. And he even said he didn't want to sign an extension yet until they proved that they were serious about winning. So I think Lillard helps with that. And if you keep Giannis on your team, especially in his prime, then you got a good chance.
Absolutely. Bill, let's go to you.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys obviously hit on some of the big trades. I guess looking back on draft and free agency, you got to go with the Spurs and just think of the Victor Wembanyama addition there. I think we're going to be looking back this year, next year, and the years after that. And I think that's really going to be a superstar there, and maybe as big as an addition as anyone has this offseason. So I'll go with the Spurs really just because of him.
All right. Tony, round us off here.
Okay, I will say it's a tie between Milwaukee when they got Dame Dollar. They freed him from Portland, and Phoenix with Bradley Beal. I think that with Lillard being in the potential sunset of his career, this is probably one of his last shots to get a ring.
Okay. Not bad picks there. I think you can go with any one of those teams and really say, they made the biggest moves. But like Mike said, it's a long season. We'll see about a month in who really made the biggest splash there. So question number 2, Tony, we're going to stay with you. Which team do you see going further in the playoffs? The Cleveland Cavs or the New York Knicks?
I would have to say the Cleveland Cavs. Their ceiling is potentially the Eastern Conference Finals if things go well, but I think the floor is conference semifinals. I don't think they're there just yet, and this is of no disrespect to the Knicks, who completely destroyed us in the series last year. The lights were just too bright, I think, with the Cavs. Getting that year of experience under their belt, first time in the playoffs without LeBron, they'll be more in tune now.
Okay. Bill, what about you? Cavs or Knicks?
Yeah, going to have to go with the Cavs there. I think it's a really great question coming off the series last year. Obviously, Knicks dominated, but really just look at the Knicks. I think they overachieved last year, and the Cavs ran into a really tough matchup. And as Tony was saying, lights were too bright, and I think that young squad will take a step forward this year. Another year of experience under them, another year getting into the playoffs, hopefully. And I think they'll go a little bit further than the Knicks.
All right. Barth, what do you got?
I'm going to have to side against you guys here, and just because you're picking the Cavs, I'm going to be devil's advocate here and pick the Knicks just because I don't really like the Cleveland Cavaliers. And, it's probably I'm thinking with my heart, not my head. But, until the way the Knicks beat them last year in the playoffs, you got to beat to prove it. So I'm going to stick with the Knicks.
Okay, solid pick. Mike, what about you?
I agree with what everybody said. I'm watching the Knicks right now. And, yeah, they being a Cavs fan, we got physically dominated by the Knicks in that series. It was disappointing. I know the Cavs picked up Max Strus and Niang, giving them a couple more 3-point shooters. They don't match. If they play, I could see the Knicks and Cavs being 4 or 5 again and playing the first round. That's where I got them projected. Physically wise, the Cavs, Allen and Mobley are really good players. They just don't match up physically against the Knicks. And I hope they don't meet in the first round being a Cavs fan. I just don't think we match up against them. But I do want to throw out there, if the Cavs aren't on, I try to watch every Knicks game I can because they're a crowd and they have the best organ music in the NBA. If anybody ever noticed that, watches their game, it's tremendous.
Yeah, I don't get to watch as much NBA as I would like to, but yeah, I definitely don't watch the Knicks. That's for sure. It's pretty much Bulls or nothing with me. You grew up in the 90s. You kind of can't go wrong with, rooting for the Bulls. I rooted for them there, and so yeah. But yeah, there's solid picks though. The Knicks did kind of out the Cavs last year, and I kind of see a repeat of that happening if they meet in the playoffs this year. So hopefully it's not the first round this year. So Mike, let's stay with you. Who are your best 3 NBA players currently?
Ooh, that's a tough question. You could probably go with 10 to 15 guys that are in that mix. Of course, the Joker I love because he does it all, and I think guys really like playing with him. The Greek Freak is a different type of player. That's why I'm anxious to see him and Lillard, how they're going to mesh together, because Lillard, he's one of my top 3, I think. Lillard, he's used to having, when he's with Portland, used to having the ball all the time. Now it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to work together offensively, him and the Greek Freak. I'm going to say Joker, Lillard, and I'll keep Giannis in there. So 2 of my 3 are on the same team, believe it or not.
Can't go wrong. Those are solid picks. But Barth, what do you got?
Man, Lillard, that's a curveball I did not see coming out of you, Mike.
He's great. Watched a lot of the games, those West Coast games late at night. I watched him play many times.
I understand. I just didn't see that coming. I agree with you on Giannis, as I mentioned before. And Jokic, the guy doesn't even care about basketball, and he's one of the best players out there. He's still worried about his horses back in Serbia. It's incredible. But right. Giannis, him, and then I think Kevin Durant's one of the more gifted scorers in the league, too, and I love watching him play. Just wish he could stay healthy, but I have to go with those 3.
Okay. Bill, what do you got?
Yeah, I got number 1, got to be Joker. I think just what he's done over the past couple of years, and then getting the championship last year is just so impressive. So we'll go with Joker, does literally everything. For number 1, 2, we'll go the Greek Freak. I think, as everyone mentioned, and then maybe just his nickname there might say it all, but just an incredible athlete and does a lot for that team, and going to be very interesting to watch him and Lillard mesh this year. Then third, I go with another big, and it's interesting because I feel like 5 years ago we were thinking bigs were going to be extinct, and now we're seeing them kind of evolve and get back in the game. But
don't call it a comeback.
For number 3, there is. Yeah, no, they definitely weren't going away. Just now shooting a lot more threes and passing the ball a little bit more. But I'll go with Joel Embiid at number 3. I think obviously the team's had some issues. We'll see what happens with Harden up there, but the talent and domination he has really against everybody is pretty impressive. So a couple bigs in there along with the Greek Freaks, my top 3.
Okay. Tony, what about you?
I'm going to have to say my top 3 are Joker, of course, for obvious reasons, MVP, awesome dude. Looks like the kind of guy you'd sit and have a beer with on Thursday night or something like that. Second, I'd have to say Steph Curry. Steph Curry, the way he shoots triples, he is the Reggie Miller of the modern day game. And I'll have to go with, and this is my Cleveland bias showing, until this man retires, give him his flowers while he still is around. Donovan Mitchell. I'm just kidding. LeBron James. No disrespect to Donovan Mitchell, but LeBron James.
Oh, man. I'd say the one I don't agree with is that last one. I think he's fallen off.
20-plus seasons, man. And even though he's had some injuries, most points scored all time.
And
Suns will potentially play pro ball.
All right, I get it. And as we can see, we have somebody finally joining us, Mister. Man, took you long enough, bro. But no,
man,
we're good. We got time
I'm so
differences.
sorry, man.
You're good. You're good. You're in.
I totally forgot. No, I'm waiting for 8 o'clock to come. I forgot. We're an hour behind up here, man.
You're all good, brother. I figured that was the issue, so we're good. But we're going to jump into it. I'm going to get you into the same question the guys just answered here. So, who is your best 3 NBA players currently?
Oh my gosh, man.
I'm bringing the thunder this show, man. You better be ready.
Yeah, I see. You are. You bringing it, man. Hey, listen, man. You gotta go with the hometown guy, man. I think he, I think he still got some more juice in him. And that's LeBron. I think he, he's gonna bounce back. I know there's, like I don't know if Tony was talking about it before, but when you put that many miles in your body, that he's put on, and saying year in, year out, I think he's still a dog, man. I think he's still a dog. I think he's still a dog. I think he's gonna, he got something to prove. I know he wanted, try and stick around for his son, but I don't know if that part is going to happen, because he's just too many miles on his body right now. Sometimes, you run by Kyrie. I don't know if sometimes, you wonder if he still has the love to play basketball. I know some of these guys are, they might be a little bit out there, what I'm saying right now. But, if you're a player, you're a baller. And I think, he got something to prove. I think, he wanted to get that X off of his back. But I think, I think this might be a break. This can be a breakout year, a re-breakout year. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
For him. And then the third one, who just won a championship? What's my guy name? Oh my gosh,
Joker.
Jokic. There we go. Yeah. There. Thank you. I think he's probably, he's one. He's good.
Okay.
He's a dog. He is a certified dog. So I like him. I like, his energy that he bring in and week out. So those would be my guys right now, my 3 right now.
Okay. And I got to get you this question because it was what we did in the intro of the show here. So, who is the better all-time great, Kobe or Magic?
Magic.
All right.
Magic.
That evens the score. Mike, myself, and you said Magic. The young guns here said Kobe. So, you know.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
But all right, Tony, we're going to go back to you starting for this question. And it's, has Greg Popovich stayed too long in San Antonio? He's missed the postseason 4 consecutive years and also hasn't had a winning record in 4 years. So what are your thoughts on Pop?
I'm guessing he's liked coaching. He's liked coaching for this long, and I believe he might have retired if not for the death of his wife. I believe that played an impact on it. So I guess it just keeps him busy, keeps him with something to do. He's very outspoken coach, and he's very, very well respected in NBA circles. So Pop is like Bill Belichick. He's going to coach as long as he wants to. And with the legends leaving left and right, you got to give them flowers while you can, regardless of wins and losses.
Okay. Mister, what about you? Has Pop overstayed his welcome in San Antonio?
You know what, man? I think, somebody, who's been, who's coached. And, every coach knows that there's a time. I mean, there's a time. And sometimes, I wonder that same question, do I think he's overstayed? Overstayed is stay there. And you know what? I'm more have to say it might be time. Sometimes it's just time to leave. And I think, with him, it might be, it might just be that time to leave, maybe step away. And but some guys, just don't. Some guys just don't understand that.
Don't know when to hang them up.
But I think really it's that time, man. He needed to go and step away, and live life. I'm not, some just time to live. It's too many other things that you could be doing. You know what I'm saying? Out there. But some people is addicted.
I get it.
And you wonder what type of addiction do you really have? What type of addiction is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Bill, what about you?
Yeah, I won't say he's overstayed his welcome. Definitely been some rough years. I think the lack of talent down there, I think for quite a few years now, has just been kind of tough. And like I mentioned earlier, I mean, obviously a lot of talent coming in with the draft pick of Wembanyama this year. I think that breathes a little bit of youth into him. And I think we'll see another couple of years successful basketball. But inevitably, sooner rather than later, I think we'll hang it up. But he's given so much to that organization and basketball that I think he'll never really be able to overstay his welcome.
Okay. Drew, what about you?
Yeah, Bill just hit it on the spot. He's got this generational talent coming in. It's probably bring a little youth into him. And as long as someone keeps signing those checks, he's not going to say no until they force him out. And with the money he's making, not that he needs anymore, but if they want to keep paying you and they're not telling you to go out the door, then you might as well stay as long as you want. But I'm sure they've probably been in his ear a little bit, maybe, this next 4 or 5 years. That might even be too long, but I can see within the next 5 max that one of the greats will be stepping away probably.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
I agree with everybody, but Tony said I assume he'll coach there as long as he wants to. The success they once had, and as long as he's been there, and somebody had mentioned, maybe Bill, watching the preseason games, that the new big guy they have is legit. He's great. You're going to be great, I think, and I don't know if they have much to go with him right now to make a splash this year or next year, but that guy is legit. And just a little trivia. Popovich, former NCAA Division III coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pomona Pitzer, Los Angeles.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something else.
I hate to say it because I like Popovich as a coach, but I think you make it 5 consecutive losing seasons and not making the playoffs, and I think the organization says, you know what, I hate to do this because you've done so much for this city and this organization, but we're going to let you retire. And I'm putting that in quotes for anybody not watching the video to this and only listening to the audio. We're going to let you retire down here and, ride off as diligently as you can. But I think if it's 5 consecutive years with what they brought in with the draft, that they're gonna have to move on from them. If not, they're gonna get a lot of flack from a lot of the fan base, in my opinion. But Mike, let's stay with you. And outside of the COVID championship in the bubble, the Lakers have not won another title with LeBron and have underperformed most season. Where does LeBron's legacy stand with the Lakers? Is he in the Lakers Mount Rushmore of Kobe, Shaq, Magic, Kareem, Jerry West, etc., and all those guys? And with the career disappointments that he's had there?
That's a good question, Bono. I don't think he's going to be. I don't know if they're going to win another one. And if they don't, he won't be in the category with Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, Wilt Chamberlain, and those guys. If he plays another 2 years, what will he have been there? Maybe 5, 6 total years. And I don't think he will be, unless there's 5 on the Mount Rushmore instead of 4. But I don't think, you're talking about the Lakers. I don't know if anybody saw Winning Time on HBO. Tremendous series about the rise of the Lakers dynasty, and started with Magic. But I just don't, if they don't make a big run here these next 2 years, I don't see him being mentioned in the category as those other guys.
Yeah, I don't either. I'll go on that one. Yeah, I don't. There's too many greats there in LA for him to even be considered there. But Barth, what about you?
I'm kind of biased. I'm not a LeBron fan. I hate LeBron James. So obviously a great athlete. It just, I was a Kobe fan growing up, and I just didn't like LeBron. So I would say definitely no. But like Mike said, we'll see what happens in the next 2 years. But I still don't see it happening. That's just a bias I have, though. So wrong person asked that question too. I'll tell you that.
I'm a LeBron hater too. I get it. I'm not a LeBron
Obviously,
fan.
one of the best to ever play. I'm not denying that. I just personal preference.
Okay, Bill, what about you?
Yeah, as far as the Laker Mount Rushmore, I just think it might be too little too late in his career to get up there. I think in maybe 28 or 27 other organizations, he would be with what he's done there. But Lakers are obviously so storied and have so many superstars over the years that I think you'll see him in the 5-6 slot, I guess, is the popularity of the Mount Rushmore. But I have a love-hate relationship with LeBron, but I do think he's definitely in the GOAT conversation at 1-2. So overall career, I think, is huge legacy, but Lakers not quite the top 4 up there.
Okay, Mister, what about you?
Nah, I don't think so, man. I don't see it. Like the previous caller said, there's too many good players that played long time and won championship. It's too late in his career. Unless he went, unless he went 3 back-to-back. And I don't think we think that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. But nah, there's too many good players that don't play with the Lakers, and nah, I don't see it.
All right, Tony, round us up.
You gotta go back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I would say this. He would definitely be on a Cavs Mount Rushmore for obvious reasons. I'd make more of a case for him being on the Heat Mount Rushmore than the Lakers Mount Rushmore. Because with the Heat, you've got Udonis Haslem, Dwayne Wade, got Dan Marley, and I think that's probably all I can think of. Probably miss Alonzo Mourning as well. So maybe he'd probably be on the edge of the Mount Rushmore for the Heat. But as far as the Lakers goes, he's a definitely top 10 player, but he's not on the Mount Rushmore. There are too many great players there that you could consider. Kobe, Shaq, Jerry West, Magic, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain. You name like 7 or 8 just from the Showtime era alone.
Absolutely. So, Tony, we'll stay with you for this question. Who wins the MVP this year?
Ooh. I am going to have to say it's a toss-up between Joker and Giannis. I'm going to lean Giannis for this one, as much as I like the Joker.
Okay.
I say Giannis.
Okay. Mister, what about you? Who's your MVP?
I'm going to go with the Joker. Yeah, the Joker. I think he'll win it.
Okay. Bill, what about you?
I mean, those are probably the top two guys. I'll go a little contrary and throw a name out there as a little bit of a sleeper. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over in OKC. I think last year he was kind of in that conversation. I don't know where he landed on the final vote, but I think they'll get Chet Holmgren back this year, give him a little bit of a running partner, and if they can be kind of in contention and have a good regular season, I think he can put up the numbers to be in the conversation there.
Okay. Drew, what about you?
I think I said it earlier. I think Giannis has a lot to prove this year, and he's going to go out and do that. And I think Giannis might run away with it, honestly. So I'm going to go with Giannis.
Okay. Mike.
I don't disagree with anybody. I'll stir up some controversy here. And Alexander is great for OKC, by the way. I'm going to throw out a different one. I'm going to say Jason Tatum for the Celtics.
Ooh.
And then when you asked that first question, Bono, and I had it ready to go and I forgot about new pickups and everything. And Celtics got Drew Holiday. That's a major pickup, right?
Yep.
For them. So I wanted to say that first question. I forgot all about it. That's one of the big pickups to me and for anybody to get.
I don't think you can go wrong with Tatum. I think he still will be in the conversation. I don't know if he wins, but he's definitely going to be up there. I think, like everyone's saying, I think it's Giannis or the Joker, in my opinion. I'm going to lean towards Giannis on this one. But, Mike, let's stay with you. Who is your NBA Finals teams, and who wins?
I was looking at that today. In the West, there looks like 8 to 10 teams.
Yeah. West is stacked this year.
Yeah, there's not like the Bulls domination or the Celtics Lakers where you know there's going to be 2 teams there or 3 teams. And, LeBron and the Lakers aren't dominant. They're good. Golden State's not dominant. They're good, but everybody's saying the Nuggets, health, injuries, things happen when teams try to repeat, it seems like. And I'm going to throw out a not a radical pick, but I'll take the Suns with Bradley Beal going to Phoenix. Everything's an if this team, if this guy if Durant stays healthy, I'll take the Suns and Milwaukee with the Bucks to win it all.
Okay. Drew.
Damn it, Mike. You took the picks right out of my mouth there. That's exactly how I was going with it. I've got the Suns and the Bucks, and I think I got the Suns winning, though, so I'm going to go against you there. But I think those are 2 of the better teams in the league, and that's a rematch of what year was that to the Bucks Suns? That 21?
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah. So I get the Suns and Bucks with the Suns winning it.
All right. Bill, what about you?
Yeah, we'll go with the Celtics out of the East. I think this is actually their year. They obviously had a big pickup, like Mike was mentioning, with Drew Holiday. Obviously, all about health getting down the stretch here, but they can stay healthy. I think they'll come out of the East, and then out of the West, we'll stick with the Nuggets. I think really didn't lose too much from last year. Obviously, lost I think Bruce Brown, but rolling back a lot of the same team, and with so much uncertainty in the West, we'll kind of stick with the safe pick of the Nuggets, and we'll go with Boston winning it.
Okay. Mister, what about you?
Hey, I tell you what, Bill, that's where I was going with it. With the, be honest with you, man, with the Celtics and the Nuggets, but I have Denver winning it though. I think they're gonna. I think they're good, man. I think they're all around good team. Them guys play together, and it's hard to beat a team like that. So I'm going with Denver.
Okay. Tony, what about you?
Who would have thought Miami would make it out of the East last year as the 8th seed of all things?
Yeah.
3 minutes away from elimination in the play-in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see anything like that. Will there be a 7 or an 8 that just makes a deep run and just shocks us all? I would have to say, and I'm probably going to be wrong, I say Milwaukee and Denver. I would say Denver in 6.
Okay. Not bad picks. I got the Celtics and the Suns with the Suns taking it. That's my pick. I like all those picks, but I think this is the year Durant finally stays healthy and it pulls it off with the Suns. All right, but Tony, we're gonna stay with you here. And who's the best coach in the NBA right now?
I have got to say Eric Spoelstra. And you know why? Just simply because of just the Heat culture. This is a guy who more or less is an unknown. He's like the guy that he's not a David Blatt that's just there on the strength of LeBron. He's a coach that got, like I said, that Heat team to the finals in 2020 in the bubble. Got the Heat team to the finals in 23 as an 8 seed. Miami's always been a pretty solid team. Every now and then they'll miss the playoffs. So I got to say Spo.
Okay. Mister, what about you? Best coach in the NBA right now? You're
To
muted.
go with the kid. I'm sorry. Thanks, man. I'm gonna have to go with my boy down south, man. I'm gonna go down to Texas, man, with Jason. J Kidd. I think he's gonna put together a interesting squad. Let's put it like that. But I think he got some hidden talent down there. And but I'm gonna have to go with him for what he's been doing for a long time. And I think it might be their year. They to get in there and shake up some some draws.
Okay. Bill, what about you?
Yeah, I think both good choices there. Spoelstra is definitely towards the top of my list as well. I'll throw Steve Kerr out there, though. I think what he's done at Golden State over the past almost decade is just so impressive. Obviously, tons of championships, ton of championship series there. What he's done, just how that offense moves and everything, I think is kind of changed the game a little bit. So we'll go Steve Kerr.
Okay. Barth, what about you?
That's good, Tony, on this one. Eric Spoelstra, what he's been doing year in, year out, and then make it to the finals last year. He's very good at what he does, and that's why he's staying with Miami, and he's probably getting an extension here soon. If he hasn't already, it might have been something I missed this summer, but he'll definitely be getting an extension and might stay as long as Popovich.
Okay. Mike, what about you?
Well, if you ask the casual bystander that watches a couple NBA games a year, they'll tell you that NBA coaches don't do anything, which is quite to the contrary. I mean, I think those guys coach, but a lot of people I talk to say those NBA guys, they just let them play, but they don't. They coach in a different way than the college coaches do, but they coach. I look at the NBA guys, the ones I like, if I look at them and like they could coach D1 college too. They'd be a good college coach and NBA. So I'm going to throw one out there that nobody else will. Mike Brown, the Sacramento Kings. And I think they could be a team to watch.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting pick there at the end, but not a bad one. So we'll stay here with you, Mike, for this final question here. Which is the hardest arena and toughest arena to play in as a visiting team?
I'm going to stick with the team that has the best organ music in the NBA. If you guys don't watch, you got to watch the Knicks games just for the organ music. It's the Knicks. They have the best crowd in the NBA.
Okay. Drew, what about you?
I'm going to tune in some Knicks games and see if Mike's right. So I'm going to go with, although the Beam in Sacramento, when they did that in the playoffs, that atmosphere was unreal too. But I'm going to go with Mike here and trust his gut, and I'm going to say the Knicks.
Okay. Bill, what about you?
I've only been to one arena, and that's Cleveland. And I'm not sure if that's the most intimidating atmosphere, but it gets pretty rowdy during playoff games. I think I'll have to agree with the guys though and go just based on that series with versus the Cavs last year and us melting there. It got to be Madison Square Garden.
Okay, Mister, what about you? Toughest arena as a visitor?
So, man, what about Golden State? I have to say that I have to say they get a little wild out there, man.
Okay.
You know, you might hear some. Ain't no telling what you hear inside or outside that arena.
Okay, Tony, what about you?
I would probably have to give my vote to Toronto, especially during the 19 finals run. You have, not only do you have the arena, not only do you have the superfan, you've got Jurassic Park. There's an influence, the fans that are outside the arena. And you've got Drake as well. So I would have to say Toronto.
All right. Not bad picks. And you know what? Mike's been saying it all show long. I'm going to have to start watching some Knicks games and see this organ music and see what he's talking about now. I just got a new sports package, so I'm definitely going to have to check it out now. I think I got some NBA games I'm going to have to be able to check out. Hopefully I can catch some Knicks games for that organ music.
Bono,
sure.
They've been playing it for 50 years.
Okay, I'm not that old. Mike, come on now. It's just...
They were playing that when Walt Frazier and Willis Reed and them were playing it.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I haven't really paid attention to the organ music there, watching games, but I'm definitely going to start now. I'm definitely going to be paying attention to that organ music.
And Bono, I watch so many NBA games, and I see a lot. And they have a lot of rules that college doesn't have. The fouls each quarter and lots of different things. And, 8 seconds to get the ball across half court, where it's 10 in college and high school. But I saw something last night. So I was watching the Milwaukee Bucks preseason game, and I saw something I'd never seen before. They come out for the third quarter, start the second half. Whoever Milwaukee is playing, they're shooting a technical free throw. And I didn't know what happened because I missed the end of the first half. Milwaukee did not come out for the start of the second half on time. They were still in the locker room, and they got teed up. That's the first time I'd ever seen that. A team teed up because they didn't come out for the second half on time. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
I've never heard of that in 34 years of life. I've never heard of that, and I played basketball for a little while. Like I've never heard of that rule.
It happened last night. I watched it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
That's
insane.
nuts.
But that is going to do it for the questions here and the show for our NBA preview show. I'm very excited to see how this NBA season does turn out and how my panel of guests were able to get it right and or wrong. And they all know if they're wrong, I will be letting them know about it because that's just who I am. But no, thanks to all of my guests that came on here. Mike, Tony, Bill, Drew, and Mister for coming on here. I really appreciate you guys coming on and spending a little bit of your evening with me and talking a little bit of NBA. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Ride Home Rants podcast. As always, if you enjoyed the show, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, tell them anyways. They might like it just because you didn't. That's going to do it for me, and I will see y'all next week. The Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by W Energy. Energy drinks made for gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. For gamers, streamers, and podcasters alike. Go to the link in the description where you can find the best energy drinks out there. Less caffeine than a cup of coffee. Also, no jitters and no crash afterwards. Use the promo code Mike Bono and get yourself 10% off. Also, the Ride Home Rants podcast is brought to you by my favorite sponsor of the show, and that is Shank It Golf. Golf apparel made for the everyday golfer. We might not go out and shoot a 6 under par. We're probably going to shoot a 6 over par, but this is going to give us the gear that's going to help us rock it on and off of the course. Go to the link in the bio, use the promo code Mike Bono, and get yourself 10% off there as well.